Hi guys, welcome back to Jersey Fam. Tonight we are going to make the Main Street Bakery cinnamon rolls. I don't know if you've ever had them, but if you have, they're delicious. You can get them at the Starbucks on Main Street and Magic Kingdom. Sometimes there's a wait, and sometimes they are actually in the shape of a Mickey Mouse head. Today is day 356 of quarantine, and
or at least it feels like it.
yeah, it does feel like it. But we want to make sure that we're all staying inside and doing our part, because we're never going to get out of here if we don't all stay home and flatten the curve. That's butter melting behind me, so don't worry, nothing's on fire. So let's start. So you have two options here. You can use regular active dry yeast, or you can use fast rising instant yeast. Today, for the sake of time and because we do these videos when our kids are asleep, we're gonna use the fast instant yeast. Later on in the recipe, we'll discuss like why, to use them and like what is the difference. But in this bowl, I have half a cup of warm water. You don't want it hot, you don't want it cold, you want it warm. So think like lukewarm. So not something that you'd probably want to get in a bath, but and we're gonna use 2 packages. Oh no! So half cup warm water, 2 packages yeast. And I need 2 tablespoons of sugar to place in here as well. Feed that baby yeast.
Feed me, Seymour.
Feed that baby yeast. Hold on. You know where my... Aha. Sprinkle that in there. I'm actually gonna like lightly mix this together, because I don't like when things are unmixed here. I'm just gonna lightly combine these ingredients in the bowl. This is what it kind of looks like. It kind of looks chunky a little bit. We're basically activating our yeast, making sure that it's good to go. Ta-da! Okay. While we're gonna set this aside. We're just gonna let that chill out and bloom. While this is going, we're gonna use 1 package of Jell-O vanilla instant pudding. Okay, and we're gonna put this inside of our mixer here. With 2 cups milk. So standard vanilla pudding recipe. Mix it up a little bit. Whoa, not like that. Basically, this will just start to set after a few minutes. We'll just leave it. That's done. So we're gonna add our half cup of melted butter. It's 1 stick of butter. Melt it into here. It's gonna look a little strange, but don't worry. Then we're gonna crack our 2 eggs. Again, if you're nervous about cracking eggs into batter, because you think you're gonna get shells, put it in a bowl first, and then add it. Oops, lost a little bit of egg there. We'll be fine. I'm gonna combine the eggs bit of salt. Now, I don't ever measure my salt in recipes. I know that's really bad, but it's 1 teaspoon. So you don't want too much, you don't want too little. And that's what usually happens when you don't measure. Mix it up really good. And then we're gonna put our yeast mixture inside of this right here. Give it a good mix. Not too fast or anything, just slow. Okay, so a little lesson on flour and bread in general when you're making it. There's never gonna be an exact amount that you're gonna put in. So you can follow a recipe from start to finish, but it's never gonna be able to tell you how much flour you're gonna put in. So a lot of times you'll see on a recipe for bread or rolls, it'll say 6 to 8 cups of flour. Well, that's because there's something that we're looking for when we're doing this that's gonna tell us how much flour to put in. So I usually add it by cup or by half cup. So I'm gonna move this closer and you're gonna watch what we're looking for here. Right. I'm going to show you exactly what we're looking for when you can apply this to bread or any type of yeasty bread. So I'm going to start with 1 cup because I know that 1 cup is not going to do it. So start with 1 cup and go slow. Don't want to overdo it. There's 1. Okay, so now I'm going to add half here of the 2nd cup. Okay. Another half, because it still looks really liquidy. Okay. It's still sticking to the sides, right? So that's 2 cups. Okay, here's our 3rd cup. I'm going to add half at a time. Okay, you see there how it's starting to come off the sides a little bit? That's still not ready, okay? So another half. Still not ready. Basically, we're looking for this bowl to clean itself. Okay, number 4. So half at a time. So it's starting to come off the sides a little bit. That's 4, 5, half at a time. All right, a little bit better. Still sticking. 6. Still need some. 7.
What's going?
Here. Not yet. Okay. Hold on now, because now it looks like it's starting to come away from the bowl. But because I didn't use a dough hook, because I want to make my life more difficult, I just want to make sure that this is all gonna incorporate. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna do this by hand from now. From here, I'm gonna do this by hand as I prefer to do it by hand. Okay, so at this point, the dough got like too sticky for my mixer, and I didn't put my dough hook in because I didn't think about it. So I'm just gonna finish it off by hand. I'll let you see how it's going. So. I prefer to do this with a wood spoon, nice and strong, and it's not metal. So I'm Don't just throw flour in there willy-nilly. Measure it before you do that, so that way you know exactly how much you're putting in. I can't tell you that it'll be the same every single time you do it, or even like you make this 2 days in a row. It could be different each time you do it. See how it's cleaning the bowl basically itself, so it's all pulling, it's not sticking to the sides, right? So now we're gonna pull it out. It's a strong dough. All right, got it all out, and now we're gonna knead it, but I want to flour my surface first. This is a mess. All right. There you go. Just make sure your kitchen countertop is nice and clean. So I think I added about like 7.5 cups. The recipe calls for 8. This is gonna take probably a good 15 minutes.
Are you doing that?
Yeah. So I'm gonna show you what exactly we're looking for. So basically, whenever you make bread, I'm like giving these secrets away, but it doesn't matter. Whenever you make bread, you wanna do something called the window pane test. And you see how I just stretched that and holes came immediately? That means it's not ready. You wanna be able to hold it up to your window and see light through it before, like without tearing a hole in it. That's how you know that it's ready. It'll also feel more smooth and supple and elastic-like. So just remember that. By the time I'm done kneading, I will probably have used about 8 cups of flour. Stretch it. I'm gonna put it up to the light. Okay, so I can officially see light through the dough when I stretch it without there being any holes in it, okay? I don't know if you can see, can you see?
Just put it, yeah.
Yeah, see how there's light showing through, but there's no hole? That means it's ready. So that means that we're gonna get our big old dough bowl. And make sure it's dry. And, oh, you know what? I know what I'm gonna use. It says to use butter, but I have butter flavored Crisco, which is what I'm gonna use. Just make sure you butter the whole thing, so that way when it rises, it doesn't stick to the bowl. Okay, a very large greased bowl. See, this thing is huge. And put this little circle, and boom.
Boom. Bada bing.
Hey. Okay. So we're gonna leave it here to rest. If you have a proof setting on your oven, you could put it on the proof setting and then let it sit in the oven. What I usually do is turn the oven on, leave it on top of the oven with a damp tea towel on top, so that way it just makes sure it's warm and it rises up. Let this rise. Once it's doubled in size, then we'll take it back out, punch it down. Now this is going to be the difference between the instant fast yeast and the active dry. If you're using instant fast yeast, you only have to let it rise one time. If you're using active dry yeast, you need to let it rise 2 times. So when you take this out, you're going to punch it down and then let it rise again. Okay, so I'm going to put this over here.
Voila.
Okay guys, so here's our risen dough. If you ever want to check if dough is risen enough, you take 2 fingers and you push it in where your first knuckle is. And if it doesn't immediately bounce right back, then it should be done. Okay. So now, this is the step that's going to differ depending on what yeast you use. So if you used the fast rising yeast, you can go ahead and roll out your dough now. If you use just regular active dry yeast, then you're going to need to punch it down and then let it rise up again to double the size. But we use the active, we use the instant, so our beautiful puffy dough is ready.
Looks great.
Now we're gonna roll it out. What I did while this was rising was I combined 2 sticks of butter, which is 1 cup, 2 cups of brown sugar, and 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. And I literally just mixed it together. You can do it the old-fashioned way and just melt the butter and mix together the cinnamon and the brown sugar. But I feel like when you just combine it, it's easier just to spread it all together. I even prefer for this to harden more, and then you get to spread it almost like a spread on top of the dough, and it just makes it easier and stuff doesn't go everywhere. But let's get this dough rolled out. You want to kind of try to do a rectangle, so that's going to be the ultimate goal. We'll see if we can do that. Yeah, I'm not good at making rectangles with dough, so I could try my best. Yeah, mine always turns out to be a big circle. I think that's because I do fondant so much, so it's like no matter what I try, it's always a circle. No matter what. Which is, it's not a big deal. Just want to make sure you get it evenly distributed. So I want to make sure that I have even thickness throughout it all. All right, looks good. Now we're going to take our mixture. Should probably start in the center, and then you're going to put it all the way. You're going to leave a little bit of space on the edge, not too much. Wow, these are going to be good. I can tell already. What do you think? It already smells like a delicious cinnamon roll. And if I'm being honest, I definitely use more cinnamon than 2 tablespoons. But that's just because we really like cinnamon in this house. And I know that, so that's why I used more. But if you're not like obsessed with cinnamon the way we are, you can just use the regular 2 tablespoons and be fine. Do we have dental floss?
I have no clue.
I think we might, because the easiest way for me to do this is to do it with dental floss. We want to try to spread this out as evenly as possible. So we don't want to have one section have more gooiness than another. I know that's kind of difficult, but we're going to do our best. Yeah, because dental floss is the easiest way to cut. We use the flossers for our kids, and I honestly use them for myself. So I don't ever really buy it unless I'm going away. And I don't know if I have any more in my go away bag because, as you know, we're in quarantine, so haven't been keeping really anything stocked for going away. This is like the perfect social distancing meal too. So, look at how pretty that is. It smells so good.
It looks like a giant cinnamon roll pizza.
It does.
Throw that in the oven just like that. Throw some icing.
That'd probably be good.
Put like little pepperonis.
That'd probably be good.
Little icing spots.
This is probably like, that would probably be really good.
It probably would be. We'll save that for another video.
Cinnamon pizza. Cinnamon roll pizza. That's a good idea.
We'll say, just follow all these instructions up until here.
We have to roll this baby up. So we want to make sure that it's still tight. So I always start really small and then go big. We want to make sure that we're
rolling evenly.
Yes, exactly. And that we're not rolling like too loose on the ends, too tight in the middle. Obviously, because I couldn't make a perfect rectangular shape, it's gonna be fatter in the middle. It's just...
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It's still gonna be delicious.
Yes, we'll still have really great cinnamon rolls. Okay, now at this point, I'm gonna pull this side over. It's not gonna stick very well, but just to have that seal on top. Wow. Alright, this is making a lot of cinnamon buns.
Kids are gonna be happy tomorrow morning.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be real happy. Alright. Now, usually you take some dental floss, wrap it this way, cut it, wrap it this way, cut it. Do we even have string? I don't know if I have anything. You could even probably use like fishing wire too, and that would be good, but I don't have any of that, so I'm just gonna use a serrated knife and It's probably gonna flatten them a little bit, but you'll get the point of it anyway, and why you shouldn't use a knife. It said 2 inches. So if you have to flatten them out like that after you cut them, because you don't have a giant piece of floss like me, you could try to go as gently as possible, like without putting any weight on the knife, and see how that works. That's what I'm doing. Wow, look at that. Looks so good. It looks so good. It looks so good. Okay. This isn't the final step though, guys, unfortunately. Now, I have tried a few different cinnamon roll recipes, but I have to say this dough feels really, really good. Like, this is my most confident. And the reason why is because I have been stuck in the house for like 3 weeks now, because we were quarantined way before anybody else was. So I kind of like, how do you say, like, when you practice something a lot and you get good at it? What is that called?
Practice?
I refined my dough skills, I guess you could say that. Like, I finally made homemade bread. I did it without a bread maker. So it was really good, and that was like the first time for me that it was really that good. So I'm hoping that this is it. I usually like to give like baked goods to friends during the holidays, so if this turns out really good,
you might want to be our friend.
You might want to be our friend. Just saying. Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna have room. This is like a giant pan of goodness. My God.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. Let's see. We could kind of figure it out. You know what we'll do with this? We'll just make little mini cinnamon buns, like a Mickey.
Mickey bun.
Mickey bun.
Awesome.
Okay, so okay, so this isn't our final step. Now we have to put them to the side and let them rest for 20 minutes. Puff up again, and then we can bake them. Now this is the point where if you want to save these for tomorrow morning, you can put some cling wrap over them and stick them in the fridge. You just want to make sure that you're going to take them out like an hour or two before you're ready to bake them, so that way they can warm and rise again. Or you could put them in the freezer at this point, and then when you're ready to bake them, keep them out overnight, let them rise on top of the oven, and then you can pop them in as soon as you wake up in the morning. But for all intents and purposes in this video, we're gonna let them rise for 20 minutes on the stovetop. Okay, so there is something else I wanted to talk to you guys about. This gorgeous mermaid comb that I got from my friend, Allie. She actually has an Etsy shop, and she makes these, but she also makes like princess inspired tiara headbands. And she also has like Mickey and Minnie inspired headbands, and like she has this really cool sorcerer Mickey headband, and they're like beaded tiara headbands. They're really, really pretty. Her Etsy shop is My Little Birds 3, and her name is Allie. I'm not gonna say her last name on camera, but she makes some really cool stuff. These are absolutely gorgeous. Like in person, it's like glittery and like, ooh, you feel like a mermaid. So head over there and check her out if you get a chance. She makes some cool stuff. Okay, so we let them rise for 20 minutes and now we're gonna pop them in the oven at 350 for another 15 to 20 minutes.
Let's see that Mickey one.
He's right there in the corner. We'll see how he comes out. So while those are baking, we are gonna make cream cheese icing for the top of our cinnamon rolls, because what is a cinnamon roll without cream cheese icing? So 1 stick of butter, 8 ounces of cream cheese, which is usually a whole block. My best advice is to leave out the block of cream cheese and the butter for the icing while you're making the whole recipe. Or if you're gonna put them in the fridge and bake them fresh in the morning, leave the cream cheese and the butter out overnight. It'll be okay, I promise. You're not gonna get sick. Okay, so we're gonna cream together the butter and the cream cheese. And now, 3 cups powdered sugar. There's a dog, right?
Why don't you lift that up when you do that? Why don't you lift up the mixer and do that?
Lift up what mixer? Oh, when I put it in? What's the point?
Oh, I figure you lift it up so it gets out of your way.
I guess I've gotten used to doing it that way, so it's just how I do it now. Does it bother you?
No.
Because it gets the side dirty. Okay, so 3 cups powdered sugar. And then, what does it say here? 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. I'm gonna measure this time. 1 teaspoon. And 2 tablespoons milk. We can slowly turn this on and start it. I don't have any more spatulas, so I'm just gonna use a spoon. Scrape down the sides.
The rubber spatula in the blue bowl.
So we make sure everything's scraped down. You could even add cinnamon in this if you wanted to make a cinnamon cream cheese icing, but we're gonna do it like the recipe says, but just a little tip. Okay, normally I would let this keep spinning to put more air into it because I like really fluffy icing, but it's just gonna melt over the top anyway because we're gonna put it on when it's warm, so we don't have to do all that. But look how luscious that looks. Oh boy.
Go ahead.
Yeah. If you don't like cream cheese icing, you can make just regular buttercream. You just leave out the cream cheese and put Crisco in instead. A 1/2 cup of Crisco. I recommend the butter flavored Crisco though. I'm gonna try that. Is that good? And if you want it less sweet, you could sprinkle a little bit of salt in here, like popcorn salt. And know, make it kind of sweet and salty, which I kind of like.
Wow.
They look good.
They look great. And they smell so
They
good.
smell so good. This is a lot of cinnamon buns. Might have to share with the neighbors if they're not scared of getting coronavirus from baked goods.
So you just glob it over.
Yeah, I mean, what else are you gonna do? I would just glob it and then let it melt. Actually, it's not in here.
The spatula, it's in there, in the bowl.
Now, do you know where my cake spatula is? Here we go. That's like, exactly. So, yes, you want to ice these while they're warm. Now, I guess if you had a preference and you didn't want to do that, good for you. But
It smells so good right now.
hold on. Come on. I don't know. Could give Cinnabon a run for their money. That's all I'm saying. Could start a cinnamon bun food truck.
True that.
What will we call it?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Oh my god, this is... I'm secretly hoping that these are disappointing so I don't eat the whole pan. Because with this icing looking luscious like this, I don't know.
My goodness.
Yeah. Maybe we'll send these to work with you because... Oh wait, that's right. There's nowhere to send
Yeah,
them to.
no. There's no one allowed to come and get them.
Yeah. Could pass them out like, yo man, you want to send my man?
Can give one to my sergeant. I'm sure she'll appreciate it.
It's only if they're good though, otherwise I didn't make them. If these aren't good, the video won't go up. That's just...
You may not see this.
You may not see this.
Or maybe we'll just pretend it's really good. No, it's definitely going to be really good. I can smell it already.
Alright.
So do you just like let it melt for a few?
Yeah, I would let it stand for a few and then I would dig in. It's definitely what I would do. Okay, so it's like super soft. Come try this. Holy poop.
Mm.
That's a mistake. I'm mad we made
Why did
this.
you make
Oh
this?
my god.
Oh my god. That is so good. And yeah, it's better than Cinnabon. Sorry, Cinnabon.
Oh, it's better than cinnamon.
Wow. Yeah, one more. Oh my god.
Holy Moses. Okay.
Yeah, it's perfect.
So, this is the best cinnamon roll recipe I have ever made. If you're gonna make this though, I suggest waiting until you have a lot of people to consume all of these cinnamon rolls. This was so delicious. Remember, like I said, watch how much flour you're using. Only added a cup to a half cup at a time. Do the window pane test. And you can have these super duper fluffy, cinnamony, just like light and luxurious cinnamon rolls at home too. There's not really much else I can say other than thanks for watching, guys. We just want to send out some positivity to you guys during this time. We know it's hard to be at home, especially if you're alone. You know, make sure you're reaching out to your family and your friends and just like social distancing, but still keeping in touch with everyone in your life.
You could always message us.
Yep, you can message us too. We're here. We're not doing anything, so you know, if you need somebody to talk to, we're here. Let us know if you make these and how they come out. Let us know if you have any questions. Subscribe if you like what you see. Give us a like to let us know you were here. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Everybody have a good night. Bye.
Bye.